Have you ever wondered what would happen if your whole life could change in a matter of seconds? Not because of something you did on purpose, not because of a serious mistake, but simply because you didn't know a law existed. Imagine this. You've been in this country for years. You've worked hard. You've built a life. You have a family. You have dreams. You have plans. And then on an ordinary Tuesday, when you're driving to work or heading back home, a police officer turns on his lights behind you. You pull over. You don't feel nervous because you haven't done anything wrong. You have your license. Your car is in order, or at least that's what you think. The officer approaches, asks for your documents, then runs your name in the system. And in that moment, that instant that seems eternal, your world begins to crumble. Not because you're a criminal, not because you threatened anyone, but because there's something in your file you didn't even know existed. A traffic violation you were never notified about. A new law that took effect just a few months ago. A minor infraction that for any citizen would simply mean a fine, but for you as an immigrant, it becomes a ticking time bomb. And the worst part? This is not fiction. This is happening right now in this moment, in cities and towns all across the United States. People like you, people like me, people who have spent years building a life in this country, they are being detained. Their visas are being reviewed. Their residency applications are being rejected or postponed. Their families are being separated, all because no one warned them in time. If there's one thing that matters most right now, it's making sure you have the information that can mean the difference between keeping your immigration status or losing everything. Today, we're going to talk about something that many immigrants are completely ignoring: the new traffic laws that took effect in 2025 and 2026, and how they are being used directly or indirectly as tools to complicate the immigration cases of thousands of people. This is not alarmism. This is not an exaggeration. These are real data, real cases, and very real consequences affecting immigrant communities across the entire country. So stay until the end, because every single point could be the one that makes a difference in your case. Let's start with the numbers, because the numbers don't lie. As of January 2026, Immigration and Customs Enforcement had more than 70,000 people detained. Not 7,000, not 17,000, 70,000 people. That is the highest number in the entire history of the agency. And here's the fact that should concern you most. More than 74% of those people have no criminal record. They are ordinary people, mostly detained during routine traffic stops or as a result of minor traffic violations they didn't even know about. How is it possible that a traffic ticket can lead to detention? The answer is simple and terrifying at the same time. Local police now share data with immigration authorities. Every time an officer stops you and runs your name, that interaction may appear on your immigration record. And when immigration authorities review your case, every encounter with the law, no matter how small, counts. Not necessarily to arrest you at that moment, but to build a profile. And that profile can determine whether you get a green card, whether your visa gets renewed, or whether you have to leave this country. Now, which are the specific new laws posing the greatest danger to immigrants? Let's go point by point. Number one, the vehicle registration trap in Texas. At the end of 2025, Texas passed a law requiring photo identification compatible with federal standards or a valid passport with the Department of Homeland Security admission stamp to register or renew a vehicle. Thousands of undocumented residents and people with visas in the process of regularization can no longer legally register their car. That means driving with an expired registration sticker makes you an easy target for a traffic stop, which then becomes an interaction that gets recorded. Number two, car insurance. Car. States like Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina have significantly toughened enforcement of laws on uninsured drivers. If they catch you driving without insurance, your car may be impounded on the spot and your license suspended. When you apply for a green card or renew your visa, immigration authorities review your full history and your general behavior. A suspended license or insurance violation signals that you don't follow the rules, and that raises red flags in your case. Number three, cell phone while driving. Cell phone. While states like New York, Illinois, and Washington have installed automatic cameras that detect phone use while driving. You don't need an officer to see you. The camera does it automatically, and the fine arrives by email days later. If you ignore that fine, it becomes a pending arrest warrant. And a pending arrest warrant is one of the most dangerous things an immigrant can have in their file. I've seen cases where people were arrested crossing the border after a completely legal trip because of unpaid traffic tickets that had generated outstanding warrants. Number 4, Florida's English-only driver's license exam. Starting February 6, 2026, Florida no longer offers the driver's license exam in any language other than English. If you cannot pass the exam in English, you cannot obtain the license. Beyond the obvious difficulty, law enforcement officers on the road are using language barriers as indicators of possible irregular immigration status. If you are stopped and have difficulty communicating in English, some officers are calling immigration authorities to verify documentation. It is not official policy everywhere, but it is happening. Number 5, lower blood alcohol limit. Several states are now applying a legal blood alcohol limit of 0.05%, which is roughly 1 glass of wine for most adults. For immigrants, a DUI can be classified as a crime involving moral turpitude, a phrase that sounds abstract, but in immigration terms is devastating. It can make you deportable, destroy your green card application, and make you inadmissible in the future. Plan your return home before you go out. Use a rideshare app. Call a family member. No night out is worth risking everything you've built. Number 6, child safety seat violations. States like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Ohio have tightened laws on how minors must be secured in vehicles. The fines are significant and may require you to take parenting classes. When you apply for citizenship, immigration authorities evaluate what is called good moral character. If you have multiple violations, even small ones like this, you build a profile of someone who repeatedly ignores the rules. And that pattern can seriously complicate your naturalization application. Number 7, proof of residence in your vehicle. Some states now require you to carry proof of residence in your vehicle. Not just your driver's license, but an additional document such as a utility bill or lease agreement proving you live where you say you do. If you can't present this during a stop, the officer may detain you while verifying your information. Even a temporary detention gets recorded, and that record can appear at the worst possible moment, during your residency interview or when you apply for a work permit. Number 8, driving with a foreign license beyond the permitted period. Most states give you between 30 and 90 days after establishing residence to obtain a local license. After that, driving with your country of origin license is equivalent to driving without a valid license. If you get stopped for this, your car may be seized. The charge remains on your record and generates questions, doubts, and delays in your immigration case. If you've been in a new state for more than 90 days, go to the DMV this week. Number 9, hit and run, even minor ones. In 2026, leaving the scene of an accident, even a small parking lot scratched with no one around, has escalated from a simple fine to a potential criminal charge in many states. A minor criminal mark on your record is a permanent problem. When immigration asks if you've ever been arrested or convicted and you say no, but that record appears in the system, the issue is no longer the scratch on the bumper. The issue is that they can accuse you of fraud. Always leave a note. Always stay if you can. Number 10, street racing and reckless driving. States like Nevada, Colorado, and Oregon have raised sanctions to unprecedented levels. Reckless driving charges can be classified as violent crimes under certain circumstances. Violent crimes make you deportable, regardless of how long you've been in this country, regardless of whether you have permanent residency, regardless of whether you have citizen family members. One moment of recklessness can cost you the entire life you've spent years building. Now, let me clarify something important about what's circulating on social media, because there is a lot of disinformation. I've seen videos claiming immigrants are being arrested simply for driving. That is not accurate. What is happening is that immigrants are being arrested during traffic stops for other reasons: expired documents, overstays, pending arrest warrants, accumulated violations. The traffic stop is only the trigger. It is the moment when everything comes to light. Don't believe clickbait that oversimplifies the situation, but do not ignore the real danger either, because the danger is absolutely real. So what can you do right now to protect yourself? Here is your clear action plan. Check your vehicle registration today, not tomorrow. If it is expired, renew it this week. Get valid car insurance and confirm it covers the state where you drive. Never use your phone while driving, not even at a red light. If you're going to drink, arrange your ride home before you leave. Make sure children in your vehicle are secured in proper car seats for their age and weight. Keep documents proving your current address in your car and update them every time you move. If you've lived in a new state for more than 30 days, go to the DMV and get your local license now. If you're in an accident, no matter how small, do not leave without leaving your contact information. Do not participate in street racing or any behavior that could be interpreted as reckless driving. And perhaps most importantly, if you are ever stopped, stay calm. Be polite. Provide your license, registration, and insurance when asked. Do not argue. Do not make sudden movements. If an officer asks about your immigration status, you may respectfully indicate that you prefer not to answer questions without a lawyer present. That is your right, and you can exercise it calmly and legally. Always have the number of a trusted immigration attorney or a legal aid organization readily available. If you are ever detained, the first call you make can make all the difference. Time matters in immigration cases. Acting quickly can change the outcome entirely. I know much of what we cover today may seem overwhelming. There are many new laws, many states, many situations that can spiral quickly, but I want you to leave with one thing absolutely clear. You are not alone, and with the right information, you can protect yourself. The system can be complex and unfair in many ways, but ignorance of the law does not protect you from its consequences. Now that you know what's happening, you have the power to make different decisions, to protect your immigration status, to safeguard your future in this country. Your presence here represents years of effort, sacrifice, and perseverance. Don't let a traffic violation you could have avoided put everything you've built at risk. Keep your documents in order, know the laws of your state, and share this information with the people you love, because what you learned today could protect someone you care about tomorrow. New updates like this come out every week. Updates that can save your visa, protect your green card, and keep your family together. If this was helpful, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss one. Because in the world of immigration, being informed isn't an advantage. It's a necessity. See you in the next one.